Hello and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah,
We're
it's
back.
almost good evening, actually. Another
Yeah.
Thursday here, but what time is it again? Is it like
It's,
4:30?
Yeah, it's 4:40 actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we're recording a little bit late
Yeah,
today.
recording at the end of the day.
Mhm.
But still, it's another Thursday here at the Clarion Chats podcast room, and we are back.
Yep. Back with 3 cameras, of course.
Getting used to finally talking to a bunch of different cameras.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I mean,
Of course.
last week was phenomenal. It was super fun.
It was a blast.
But we're back.
Mhm.
But let's just
Welcome.
get this out of the way.
Because today we have a really good
Yeah,
episode.
we do.
We have a really good episode.
And a really interesting guest as well.
Uh-huh.
Most important thing I have to say, on Thursdays, the international office is giving away popcorn for free. I'm just telling this because I came here with like 4 bags of popcorn.
Yeah.
Because I also work there, and one of my coworkers, she told me, bring popcorn or take popcorn with you because we're closing out.
Yeah.
So I just brought popcorn. So if you ever feel like you want some popcorn and don't want to pay for it, stop by the international office. We got you covered.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's good because I'm not a big fan of popcorn.
Mm.
And then when I ate it, I'm like, this tastes so good. So I ate like 3 bags of it. So
Yeah, so come on, stop on by, and but another events that are happening besides Popcorn Thursday at the
Yeah.
international office, which is room 10303 for those who don't know.
yeah.
We have on Monday and Tuesday we're going to be having a speaker talking about Latino history and stereotypes, all about the big influence that Latino people have in the United States and how the migration works. So it's going to be in the Smith Auditorium that's in Building 12. And on Monday, it's going to be from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. And on Tuesday, it's going to be from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So that's going to be a little later. I guess it's supposed to accommodate everyone's time. So you can,
Yeah.
if you have class in the morning, on Monday you cannot make it, go Tuesday, and vice versa.
Yep.
On Tuesday, they're also having a speed friending event. It's hosted by the...
Such a cool name.
Yeah, it's hosted by the
Speed
Peace
friending.
Place. It's going to be in the stage on the basement of Building 8.
Mhm.
And speed friending is what the name implies. You go there to make friends quick. So
Really?
yeah. So they're
It's
just
literally
they're
on the
host-
name.
Yeah, they're just hosting some games, some fun activities. If you want to stop by, chat, meet new people,
That's fun.
you're welcome. And it's again stage in the basement of Building 8.
Mhm.
It's gonna be from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Mhm.
On Wednesday though, man, Wednesday is packed. There's
Really?
a lot of things going on. So first of
Ooh.
all, they have they're going to be having an event on room 2334. That's the green room in Building 2,
Yep.
and it's just called Free Pizza and a Chat.
What?
Yeah.
What
so
time?
It's going to be from 12 to 2.
Okay.
And it's
Show
what the
up.
name implies. It's a free pizza and chat. So if you want to stop by and talk to people and eat free pizza, there you go. It's going to be in the green room, room 2334. At 12:15 from 12:40, in the stage in Building 8, same stage as the speed friending is happening.
Yeah.
They're going to be having a talk about. It's called "When Life Happens, Let Us Help." They're going to be showcasing a new e-learn feature that is being implemented, and it's going to help students get their voice out and heard. So
Nice.
we don't know much about what that implies, but hey, it's happening next Wednesday. So if you're curious, because I am curious, if you can make it, because I cannot make it, do, and then tell me what it is, because I would like to know. We're also going to be having the Adverse Child Experiences talk with Trey Clements. He's one of the adjunct here at
Nice.
Sinclair. It's going to be in the big conference room in the Tartar Marketplace, room 7006.
Mhm.
It's going to be from 1:30 to 2:30, and he's just going to talk about what are stresses and traumas in childhood. It says
Yeah.
session 1 when looking at the event calendar, so I believe it's going to be a series of events that are taking place. So if you wanna join, feel free. It's going to be again room 7006
Mhm.
from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. We're also going to be having on Building 12 at Sinclair Conference Center from 6 to 7:30. David Myers is a co-writer of a book that talks about historic black settlements in Ohio.
Cool.
So after the Civil War, a bunch of people that did not want to be slaves, as people usually don't want to be slaves.
Yeah, of course.
They had to run away and find their own settlements and create their own towns and create their own neighborhoods. And the book's all about that. And David's going to be talking more about that book. So it's going to be, like I said, in Building 12 at the Conference Center from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And last but not least, on Wednesday, are we still here with me?
Oh, we're still on Wednesday?
Yeah, it's still on Wednesday.
Oh my God.
They're going to be having a Q&A with Electrify America about zero-emission vehicles. And that's going to be happening and I'm really excited that's happening in Building 20, room 2121.
The best building.
It's such an interesting building because it's
the best.
It's like people here, even as it is on the main campus.
Yeah.
But you talk to people, yes, it's in Building 20. They're like, what is Building 20?
Yeah, where is it at?
Because it's very far. It's very far off. And for those who don't know, it's the one across the bridge.
Yep.
Right. So if you know where Building 13 is, think if you're going to Building 13, you pass by 9, and if you turn left, you get to Buildings 18 and 19.
18 and 19,
If you turn right and walk all the way past the garage and over the bridge, then you get to Building 20.
Yeah. To be more specific, it's basically whenever you guys get out of the Building 13, there's the train railroads, about where next to the bridge. So it's literally the big train railroad is right next to it.
Yeah, if you follow the tracks, but just don't follow the tracks on the tracks because that track is active.
that is
Back in my town, there used to be deactivated tracks which we always walked on because there were no trains. But here the trains still pass, so
please
don't be on the tracks.
Do it on the car.
Yeah, but then Thursday is going to be more light, just one event, and it's called Bubbles, Books, and Basketball, and that's going to be that's going to be happening outside of Building 10 from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
And
that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it is busy, man.
Wow.
Wednesday is going to be packed, so there's going to be a lot to do. But yeah, that's it for this next week at Sinclair. So if you can attend to any of these events, please do. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, of course.
We're probably going to be attending to a few events. We're going to see who we can send and all of that. And expect more at our website and our social media because our social media has been very, very active lately.
Yeah, of course. Every day we're posting.
Yes, our social media manager, Jamie, she's doing a fantastic job.
Shout out to you, Jamie.
Yeah. And our Twitter is also very popular too. So yeah, if you want to follow us, remember at Sinclair Clarion on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yes.
Or X.
Or X, yeah.
Or in YouTube as well. But you know this because you are watching this video and you're here in our channel.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's really all that we're going to be talking for today because, like I said, we have an important guest today.
Yeah, very important guest.
Very interesting topics to talk, and it's going to take some time. So, I guess without further ado, let's get to the talk.
Disappear, Jay.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya, guys. Okay. All right. Look who we have here, guys. So, I mean, obviously you're going to be wondering, like, we're having papers. It's like we're literally businessmen, but we're not.
I did so much research for this. Literally,
yeah, I know.
Literally, like, I don't know, probably like 10 hours.
Oh my God.
Just
So
typing stuff.
Jay is gone now. He presented us with the news as always. So thanks to Jay. He's now changed into a camera crew so we can see him. You guys can't. Too bad. So who are you? And where did you come from?
I'm Caleb. I came from Ohio. I was born like south of Cincinnati, place called Harrison. It's pretty far.
Yep.
It's like an hour drive to here. I don't know.
And
kind of just like a small town.
So what do you do here at Sinclair?
I'm an aviation major, so I guess it's like, I think the actual major is called commercial pilot or professional pilot major, something like that. But the 4-year degree, bachelor's, and not the
bachelor's degree. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
As you guys know, Sinclair is an associate degree college. So, you only do 2 years and then you get your associate's degree and then you transfer to university and you do your 4 years. But recently the aviation have changed into a bachelor degree. So now he can
not changed. They still have the associates. They just added a
They added, okay. So they
you can
added,
take one of two ranks.
Yeah, so they added another 2 years so you can have your bachelor's. And that's exactly what Caleb is doing here. And he's going to be, we're going to be presenting some very exciting things. It's going to be scary, but it's okay.
There's been a lot of hype about this behind the scenes.
Yeah, we're just freaking out and stuff like that. Caleb is also excited because, so I know Caleb from, like, there was a club here, the Taran Gamers Club. I knew him, I met him from there, and then we kicked it off straight away. We got along, and he's a really good friend of mine, and then I found out that he does aviation here at Sinclair, and he is very good at it. He's very good at
He
it.
even got to go up for a flight with me.
Yeah, I went up. He actually took me. He offered me to go on a lesson with him because I'm obsessed with aviation too. I wanted to be a pilot my whole life, and every time we talk about planes, I just regret. I'm like, oh, why did I not learn to be a pilot? So yeah, Caleb took me to a lesson. It was great.
Yeah,
I felt like I'm one of the captains.
We'll have to go.
I
We'll have to go again.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I will definitely go. Since now,
I actually have my PPL now.
congratulations.
Yeah,
He has a
thank you.
license now, so he
Yeah.
can fly by himself.
No more instructors.
No more instructors.
For now.
Yeah, for now. For now.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the aviation program here at Sinclair?
I mean, it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's a lot of the classes you have to take are very interesting. I mean, obviously, it being college school, you have all like the basic classes, English and math and whatever. But like the aviation specific programs, you have like all your different licenses. So you get your private pilot, then you get your instrument, then you get your commercial. You get your CFI if you want to do that. So then you can, once you get your CFI, it's actually pretty nice because you get paid, but you also get flight hours logged, which just works up towards your goal to
your resume and stuff?
your hours and so yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it just adds to it. But then you get your multi-engine rating, and then you can eventually get your CFII.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very good titles. Amazing titles.
Yeah.
It's all from the program here. So most of the students here at Sinclair, like they know about the aviation program, or some of the students that wants to come to Sinclair that are doing research about the program.
Yeah.
We have a student here that literally is talking about it and saying like how amazing and good it is and stuff like that.
Really
So you
good.
guys,
All the instructors are really cool. Like I mean, from all the classes that I've taken, from human factors to I mean, even like you have to take a meteorology class, which makes sense. Obviously, you're flying.
Of course.
But,
You're in the air.
That class is like very interesting.
Nice.
You learn about clouds and fronts and
and nods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nice. So most of the students here probably don't really know about the aviation, which I think we should actually spot the light on a lot, because first it's a bachelor degree, which is great in a community college, which doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen. It's like an associate degree. It's supposed to be, but now it's bachelor's, and it's good hearing from Caleb a lot, because we talk behind the cameras a lot about the aviation and stuff like that. And he tells me like it's fun, it's nice, it's good. So any of you that's watching that's interested into applying for Sinclair, here's a student that just told you about how the program is and stuff like that. And you can do more research by going on the Sinclair website and stuff like that. So, man, Caleb, we have
quite the topic.
We have. So maybe this is not and this is a great entry about like talking about planes and stuff like that. It's not a good introduction, but we have to cover it because I just feel like, well, he's passionate about these things, and probably most of aviation students like to study these things and understand what planes do and how they fly and what the problems are and how they can solve them and how they can do investigations on them. Yeah. So today, me and Caleb, or Caleb mostly, is going to be covering 2 plane crash cases. Yeah. And I am very ready because I love listening to these stories.
They're pretty interesting ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to add though, because I guess I didn't really say like how I got into aviation. So originally, like in high school, right? My original plan was going to the Air Force.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. I was Air Force all the way, and then I wanted to fly. I wanted to try and fly the A-10. I don't know if you know what that is.
The
Warthog,
the very big plane.
Yeah, it's it's the Gal 30.
Yeah.
Plane with a gun, But that was my original idea, and then eventually I just switched and decided to go into college and whatever. But so now we're here.
You loving it?
Yeah.
You're not regretting any part of it, right?
No. I think the only benefit I would have had going military is I would have, I mean, obviously I wouldn't have had to really pay for college, and I would have had a bunch of hours logged and had a military background. So, I mean, there's a lot of benefits going through the military, but you still get...
You decided this path.
It's the same end goal. Yeah.
That's great. So, the question is, we have 2 cases here, right?
Yeah.
Which one would you like to cover first?
Well,
I would feel like we should cover the Air France, because that one, because you're going to be talking about your experience of actually, because he wrote a like a 9-page essay, you said?
Yeah, I had to do a paper on it.
Yeah, he had he did a paper on this, so we'll keep this to the end.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You want to start?
Yeah, sure. So,
oh my God.
The first one we'll go over is Air France 447, which was I mean, the company is Air France. It was a Airbus A330. And I mean, there's not really like a big difference. I mean, I guess everybody has their preferences between Airbus and Boeing.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's a different discussion, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
we'll get to that.
The plane was leaving Rio de Janeiro, flying to Paris on June 1st, 2009.
Which Rio de Janeiro is in Brazil.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But the plane at the time of the accident recently, just beforehand, had gone over a major overhaul.
Okay.
So it just went over under a big bit of maintenance, pretty much. But at the time, it had about 18,870 hours on the airframe.
That's quite a lot, right?
Yeah, that's a bit. But the flight had 228 people, 12 crew, and 216 passengers. So that's a lot of people.
228, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of stress. That's a lot of things to deal with.
A lot of, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
Anyway, so the crew, right?
Yeah.
You had a captain. This being a really long flight, it was about a 11-hour flight almost. So you had three pilots. You have a captain, you have your first officer, and then you have a second first officer who's just a relief. So the captain and the FO, the original FO, start, and then the relief first officer comes up and takes over for the captain. But so the captain was 58. Mark, I don't know how you want to say that, Du Bois?
I would say Du Bois.
So he joined Air France in February 1988, and he had almost 11,000 hours of flight time under his belt.
That's so much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
And then he had about 6,300 as a captain. And then he only had 1,700 on the Airbus A330, which is still a lot of time on a type of plane.
Yeah, of course. Plus, he's very experienced with flying.
Right.
So,
So then moving down the line, right, you got the FO, who was 32-year-old Pierre Cedric Bonin?
Pierre Cedric Bonin. Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. Yeah. So he joined Air France in 2003 in October. He had about 3,000 flight hours, so a lot less experience than the captain, for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
And he only had about 807 hours on the A330.
Oh,
and I think, because I watched a video kind of going over it, and they said he'd only been flying the Airbus for about a year. So in about a year, he had 800 hours, which is, I think, pretty good.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Anyway, so then the relief first officer, so then the guy who took the first rest period was 37-year-old David Robert. He joined Air France in July 1998, and he had about 6,500 flight hours with about 4,500 on the A330.
So he's got the most.
No. Well, yeah, actually, wait.
Yeah, it's 4,500.
Yeah, on the A330, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
A330s are actually great planes.
Yeah. I think between honestly, my two favorite planes, I'm definitely an Airbus guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I think my favorite two are probably between the A380 and the A320.
A320? What about the A350? I flew with that when I came back here.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Nice, yeah?
It's so big. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll show you pictures after the podcast. So
Cool.
Yep. So, jump to the accident.
So, the accident, right, they departed Rio de Janeiro at 10:30 UTC, which is just like the universal time.
Universal time, yeah.
It's all in pilot lingo, it's just Zulu time.
Zulu time.
Yeah, that's what you refer to it as. But they were scheduled to arrive at 9:03 in the morning, UTC, of course.
Yep.
Which put the estimated flight time to about 10 and a half hours. So the plane takes off, and basically when the plane's flying like over the ocean, they're not really in contact with anyone. So they send position reports between like points that they fly over or through or whatever, you know.
Yeah, from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. So you have point A, point B, your origin, destination, and then along the way you have like points that you hit. Yeah. So you send like position reports as you hit those.
Because you can't even contact someone over the ocean, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the last position report was sent over waypoint Intol, which is about 350 miles off of the northeast coast of Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah. So they didn't make it too far in terms of the full length of the flight.
Ooh. where it drops.
Yeah, so the captain, right, they take off, everything's good. The captain gets up and he goes to take his rest period.
Yeah.
And just before they had gotten a weather report, like an updated weather report, and there was reports of turbulence in front of them.
Yeah.
So he got up and he told the cabin crew that they would be hitting turbulence soon. And then about 2 to 3 minutes later, after the captain went to his rest, the relief so now at this point it's 2 first officers in the cockpit. So you have the relief guy who took the first rest in the left seat where the captain was,
and the captain,
and the original FO in the right seat, right? So the original FO in the right seat is the guy who's flying, or the pilot flying, PF.
Yeah.
So you often have the pilot flying, so he's actually flying the plane, and then the other guy is the pilot monitoring, so he'll do radios and whatever.
Nice.
Anyway, so 2 to 3 minutes after he went, the plane started to hit icing conditions, and the ice began to build up on the pitot tubes, and the pitot tubes are what measure the airspeed, which airspeed's pretty important in a plane. 'Cause
Yeah.
it tells you how fast you're going.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so anyways, Bonin, being the pilot flying, he turned the plane slightly to the left, which I'm not really entirely sure why he did that initially, and then he reduced from one. And then in a plane, once you get up to a certain speed, they just record it in Mach speed. So they were going Mach 0.82, and he reduced to Mach 0.8, which I guess in their Air France policy is like the recommended speed to go through turbulence.
And does like dropping down from Mach 8.2 to Mach 8, is that a lot? Or that's a little bit?
I mean, I would imagine so. I don't know like what Mach is to like knots or miles per hour, so I couldn't tell you like exactly, but I would imagine because Mach's pretty quick.
Because something happened, definitely.
Yeah. So anyways, so they hit icing conditions. He reduces speed and turns left. And they had engine anti-ice on, but that was it. So on a plane, you have anti-ice for your engines, you have anti-ice for your wings, your pitot tubes, your windshields. The only thing they had
Almost
on was
everything.
engine. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyways, so now stuff starts to go wrong. So at 2:10, the autopilot disengaged, and it was more than likely a result because the pitot tubes started to get iced over. So the autopilot didn't have an airspeed to read, which it needs to for like auto throttle to control its airspeed, right? So that turns off. The autopilot disconnect warning was heard on the CVR, and CVR is just the cockpit voice recorder.
Yeah.
And then Bowen, being the pilot flying, he started to take manual control of the aircraft, and the turbulence started to roll the plane to the right. So Bowen, obviously correcting the plane, rolls it back to the left.
Yeah.
But then he started to get into like this. I don't know. He was in turbulence, and he's corrected it, but then he overcorrected, so he's continuing to try and fix it. So he's just rocking the plane back and forth.
It's going like this and this. It's
because he just kept overcorrecting.
Oh, I thought he's like turning.
No. He's just trying to keep the wings level.
Oh,
but he
my
overcorrected,
God.
so he's just rolling back and forth.
Oh my God.
But in the process of trying to keep it level, he was also pulling back on the stick. So we've talked before,
going like this and
right?
Like this
So we've talked before. In an Airbus, all you have on either side is a joystick. So on the captain's side, you have a joystick on the left
that goes up and down, right?
And the guy in the right seat can't really see it.
Yeah.
And vice versa. The guy in the right seat has one, the guy in the left seat can't see it. Whereas in a Boeing, you just have like your typical flight stick, and one moves, they both move.
They
in
both
an
move at the
Airbus,
same time.
if one moves, the other one doesn't move.
Yes.
So Bonin's pulling back. The other guy obviously doesn't know. But which obviously, pulling back on the stick makes the nose go up. So they started climbing.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna ask you a good question. So you mentioned that he was trying to recorrect the where it's going, right? So it's going to the left. He's putting it back to the right.
Yeah, like wings level. He's just trying to keep it flat.
Yeah. So why did he go up? Why did he try to go up?
I mean, I don't really think there's a reason. I think it was just him, just like messing with the stick. He just like casual. I guess he just like as a reaction did it.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something that just kind of happens. I guess when you're stressed and you're just trying to...
You're panicking.
Yeah. You just start doing things automatically.
Yeah.
So yeah, he ends up raising the nose. The stall warning sound, briefly twice, was heard. And this is obviously because Bonin was pulling back on the stick, causing the nose to go up. And the plane went from 274 knots, which is 315 miles per hour.
Oh my God.
all the way down to 52 knots, which is 60 miles per hour.
Wow, that quick.
Yeah. So he was
like this.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it drops way the aircraft's angle of attack, or AOA.
Yeah.
It was just like super steep, nose up. And so he just bled all of his airspeed off pretty much. And obviously with the nose being up, that's where the plane's going to go. So they ended up climbing way above their assigned altitude, which was 35,000 feet. And the plane's highest recommended rate of climb is a maximum of 2,000 feet per minute. During the time of Bonin pulling back on the stick, they hit upwards of 7,000 feet per minute.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They were
they were gone. They were trucking into space. They were gone.
I'm speechless.
Yeah, it was yeah. So that happened, right? He starts pulling back at 2:10:34. The first incident when autopilot disengaged initially was at 2:10:05. So 2:10 and 5 seconds. Right?
Yeah.
At 2:10:34, 2 a.m. 10 minutes and 34 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
The left side instruments, so on the relief FO side, not the pilot flying side, those instruments came back and were showing, it showed a very sharp rise in airspeed all the way back up to 223 knots, or 257 miles per hour.
So this was happening while they're stalling.
Yeah,
they still don't know yet.
They're still climbing. Yeah.
They're still going. Oh my God, they're still going up.
But at that point, I believe it showed a really sharp rise, because I think this is when he like put the engines to full
throttle.
Yeah,
takeoff
to
mode.
toga. Yeah.
Oh,
Takeoff, go around. Yeah, is what TOGA.
Oh, it just keeps getting worse and
Yeah,
worse.
it was bad. So then the icing event initially, when the pitot tubes initially iced over, only lasted a minute.
Oh my God.
So a minute, right? Autopilot disengages. He's nose up. They climb at way faster than what they should be.
Yep.
And
of course.
And bled all their airspeed off. And after the minute, the icing was gone. The airspeed comes back. All they would have had to do is nose over, and they were good.
Yeah.
But instead, Bonin continued putting back pressure on the stick, so they just kept going up. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, it literally would have taken a glance.
Okay. At this point, like you said, the icing went, right? So now the pipes are running again, right? Like
why
they're
uniced.
So didn't they just turn back the autopilot and he can just
They just weren't paying attention.
Oh my God.
But it was because Bonin was the pilot flying. The other guy, I guess, I don't know, he's
just looking at what's
relaxing.
happening.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. But so anyways, at 2:11 in 10 seconds, the plane hit its maximum, its peak point at 38,000 feet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they went from 35,000 to 38,000, which is only 3,000 feet. But
that's a lot compared to the way that they're still going.
Yeah, but I mean, they went from 35,000 feet, hit icing, they went nose up, they like started to climb, and then they went just nose higher, peaked at apparently 7,000 feet per minute climb point.
Oh my God.
And I guess they leveled off they started to stall at 38,000. So anyway, at this point, when they're at 38,000 feet, the plane was at a 16-degree angle, nose high. So
literally like this.
Probably,
like this.
Yeah, it's pretty steep for a plane.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty steep.
Yeah.
And the thrust levers were full forward into toga, which is takeoff, go around.
Yeah.
And the plane went into so they had that, and then he obviously still has back pressure, right? So it goes into from a 16 to a 30-degree nose high angle of attack. So he's even steeper now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then at this point the plane began to stall, and Bonin, in like in a panicked tone, said, "I don't have control of the airplane anymore now." And then 2 seconds later, "I don't have control of the airplane at all." And then Robert.
Wait. Can we do something?
Yeah.
So say those lines again. Yeah, come on.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me.
So yeah, Bonin explained.
Bonin exclaimed, "I don't have control of the airplane anymore now." 2 seconds go by. "I don't have control of the airplane at all." So Robert, right, in the next line down, Robert is the relief FO. So he was the guy that came up for the captain.
Yeah.
So he responded with saying, controls to the left, which basically the way a cockpit works, you have a positive exchange of controls. So one pilot will say, like if one guy wants to do something and pass the controls off to the other guy, he'll say your controls, and the other guy has to say my controls, and then he says your controls.
Wow.
Okay, so he says controls to the left, which means I'm taking control. That's what it should mean.
He's
right?
calling for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he began to push the nose forward. So now he's pushing the stick.
So now he's actually trying to help.
Right. He's trying to fix
doing the correct
situation.
thing.
Correct,
okay.
correct,
yeah.
correct. So he's trying to push the nose forward to break the stall. However, Bonin is still on the other side, has the stick pulled all the way back, which is dual inputs. Yeah. So they're canceling each other out.
No.
And on the CVR, you could hear an audible warning of dual input.
So which
basically means both pilots are trying to do something.
Yeah, doesn't work. It's going to cancel out.
Correct. So.
Oh my God.
And then at 2:11:40, so 30 seconds, the captain comes back after being summoned by Robert. At this point, the AOA, the angle of attack, had reached 40 degrees nose high.
16 to 30 to 40.
Yeah.
It's still
They're still going up. Yeah.
All this time and it's still going up.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what to say.
And the plane had now, at this point, 30 seconds, had descended from 38,000 back down to 35,000.
And 30 seconds.
30 seconds. They dropped 3,000 feet.
That's going rapid.
Yeah.
Rapid speed.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. So the plane's nose was the plane's nose was above the horizon because the angle of attack was so high.
Yeah.
So the pitot tubes aren't getting air, blown into them, so it's not reading anything. So it's a invalid reading, right? So the stall warnings at this point, literally aren't even going off. So it's just a quiet cockpit.
That's the scariest part.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So eventually there was a point. Let me see. Yeah. So the plane's airspeed readings were invalid but the plane was descending rapidly. And then about 20 seconds later, at 2:12, Bonin slightly lowered the nose, and the airspeed became valid because the nose dropped.
Finally.
The stall warning begins to sound again, and that pattern right there continued all the way down until they crashed. So he pulled the nose back. The stall warning sounds would cut out because it's invalid.
Yeah.
He'd lowered it again.
It turns
come back. He'd pick it back up. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Because when you hear a stall warning sign, you're supposed to nose over.
Yeah, exactly. But when he was doing it, it's turning on. So it's something wrong in the system.
No. Because he went nose high, right?
Yeah.
No stall sign.
No stall. Yeah.
Because there's no wind into the pitot tube, so the plane doesn't know that it's stalling. It can't sound the horn because it doesn't know.
Yeah.
And then he lowers it, and then it's like, oh hey, we're stalling. So then it sounds, but then he picks it back up again and it cuts.
But how does that work exactly? Because planes usually they fly forward, so the air gets into the tubes. But why doesn't the stall turns on?
Well, because his nose is so high and the pitot tubes stick straight off the nose.
Oh.
So the wind's just blowing into its belly pretty much.
I see. So when he goes down, the pitot tubes
pick up air again. Yeah.
Oh my God. So and then he
so that continued all the way down until they crashed. And the worst part was the plane's angle of attack was never lower than 35 degrees all the way down. So he would lower it, but he would never go
lower than
below 35 degrees, and then he would just go back up. Yeah.
So he's like this. He lowers to 35
ish, maybe.
Yeah, he lowers to 35. He picks it back up, and it's still falling on 35.
The whole time he's just stalled out, dropping. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad. And then so the captain, right? He comes back up, and he ended up figuring out that they were in a stall because the FO and the relief FO were having a conversation, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think the relief guy was something like telling him to climb. He was telling him to climb.
They're all just saying climb.
Yeah, the relief FO was saying to climb. And then the FO that was there originally was saying, I've had full power and nose high the whole time.
And
obviously they're stalled out, right? So the captain hears this and he's like, no. Don't climb. You are stalling, nose over. But at this point, they're already like a couple
late?
thousand feet, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 feet above the ocean. So it's too late for that. A plane that size to recover, and yeah,
It's
it was
very,
too late.
very,
Yeah.
very tough.
Yeah. So we ended up figuring it out, but it was too late for the plane to break the stall. And then the CVRs stopped recording at 2:14:28, approximately 3 hours and 45 minutes after their takeoff. The aircraft's ground speed, so like it moving horizontally, was only 107 knots, 123 miles per hour, but their descent rate, so the rate from they're going down,
Yeah, 38
was
to 0.
10,912 feet per minute.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Wait.
they're dropping
So
like
okay.
a rock.
So wait. I don't even know what to say.
It's
So,
like a 5-ton whale
just falling.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually, you said naturally planes rise 2,000 feet per minute. Right?
That's its maximum climb
Max-
recommended
Yeah,
speed.
and they started climbing 7,000
at one point, yeah.
Yeah, but this time they're dropping 10,000 feet per
Because
minute.
they were stalled, yeah. They were dropping at 10,000 feet, almost 11,000 feet per minute.
Yeah, and then the point after it says they crashed in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So
Yeah,
if you do the calculation,
Yeah,
10,000
they went from 38,000 feet
to 0.
to the ocean
Yeah.
in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Which, if you think about that, right?
That's crazy.
Your typical descent rate isn't much more than like your climb rate.
That's crazy.
So you'd be, I don't know, so let's say you normally descend at 2,000 feet per minute. To get from 38,000, I mean, you just divide it by 2. I don't know what that is. What is that, like 18?
38,000
19?
divided by 2. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And they did it in 3 minutes. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, so the plane dropped from 38,000 to 0 in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. During this fall, they turned more than 180 degrees just because, I guess, just some of the inputs they were making during their nose up, like, time. They were just...
You mean they turned like this?
No.
Or
like compass. They were just like...
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, they literally went
Like
they
180
went
pretty
back in
much.
track.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so then it remained stalled the entire duration for that entire 3 minutes 30 seconds from 38,000 feet, and the plane hit the water belly first at 152 knots or 175 miles per hour, which obviously everyone died on impact. So
I'm so sorry for all the losses, but oh my God, this is a tragedy.
Yeah.
And that happened in 2009.
yeah. That's a
So
while ago.
it was a long time ago, but still.
Yeah.
What a case, man.
Yeah. Brutal.
From 38,000 feet, which is peak high for planes.
And
Planes
the-
don't go that
the-
high, right? They usually go like
They
38,
could, yeah, they
35,
could.
32.
Yeah, typically. It depends on what their maximum ceiling is, what the plane's recommended ceiling is, yeah.
38,000 feet
To the ocean.
in 3 minutes.
Mm,
That is extremely fast.
yeah.
Let's say, okay, let's try to calculate something. Let's say they dropped from 38 to 28 and then they realize they're actually stalling.
'Kay.
Can they save the plane at 28,000?
Yeah, that's plenty of time. Now, they'd probably recover it, I don't know, let's say at the lowest 10,000. Probably wouldn't take 18,000 feet, but let's just say.
Yeah.
That's still plenty of space. 10,000 feet up below you before you hit the ocean, that's plenty of space.
Yeah.
Reality is it wouldn't take them 18,000 feet to recover that, but...
So while they're falling, they still don't know that they're stalling?
It literally would have taken either the FO or the relief guy
Just
to glance at the screen. And because, I mean, the way the screen works, you have blue for sky, brown for ground, and you have your horizon.
The line in the middle, right?
Your horizon.
Mm-hmm.
They literally had to look, and they would have seen their angle of attack was way up in the blue and just nose over.
Yeah, I recognize the screen that says the shows the blue and the ground, and there's like a green line in the middle with like an arrow.
Yeah, your
and
horizon.
You're supposed to keep it like this. You know? That's actually crazy at these moments how people can't look. Like they just...
stress,
Stress, panic,
yeah.
people at the back screaming.
Yeah, sure, it was panic. I mean, even if, yeah, because I'm sure you would definitely feel dropping at 10,000 feet per minute because your ears would be popping and stuff.
Yeah, of
and
course,
all the
man.
way
It would
down,
be
but
a lot of pressure, a lot of G-force.
when a plane like your typical commercial aircraft, when they go up and they're at 35,000 feet like this one, let's say, the cabin never, like where you sit, never feels like you're any higher than about 8,000 feet. They pressurize it to about 8,000 feet.
Wow.
So you don't really feel the pressure of like 35,000 feet like how the plane does outside. But
I mean, the windows are this thick, so
yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, what a tragedy, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, speaking of the Airbus, because you said each handle controls, there is also a button that Caleb told me about that you can take full control of the plane, but you have to make sure that he knows there's a button that you press, then you can control up, down, left, and right.
Yeah,
right.
It just gives you control.
Yeah,
it gives you authority.
Exactly.
Over
That's also a great question. Why did they not decide to do that too? Like,
no idea, man.
Sometimes you go back and you're like, I wish I was in that plane, just seeing what they're doing.
Yeah, but then the other thing is, right? Like we're sitting here.
Yeah.
In this room, and it's like you're not in the situation under all the stress and pressure of
that's true
having whatever it was 216 people in the back.
Yeah, which is I don't fully blame them. I mean, they have all the right to panic and be stressed and stuff like that, which is this shows, man.
But I mean, honestly, I mean, I feel like you could definitely put the blame on just Bonin himself.
Yeah.
But then again, I can't put it fully on him because, like, you had the relief FO who's sitting right there with the same screens, the same information, and he also wasn't paying attention. Yeah. So, yeah,
you gotta be very strong to be a pilot, man. Mentally strong.
Yeah, it's definitely really
mentally strong. So,
countless hours of studying that go into it. That's for sure.
Okay.
Now we got the other fun one.
Jumping into the second. Well, this one is okay. Just to let you guys know, this is not a passenger plane. This one is a cargo plane.
This one's a cargo plane.
This one's a cargo plane.
This one isn't. This one's also a lot more recent.
Yeah, this one is not that scary, but this one's very recent. So
2019.
Take the mic.
So February 23rd, 2019. It was an Amazon flight, which was operated by Atlas Air. This is Atlas Air 3591. It was a Boeing 767-375,
which is a very big plane.
Yeah,
it's a really big plane.
Yeah,
I've seen Boeing 767s.
Yeah, they're pretty slick. I like them. But it was going from Miami, Florida, to Houston, Texas, George Bush
International Airport. Yeah, which is basically it's an interstate flight. So
yeah,
it's very.
But so this plane, right, during the time of the flight had more than 91,000 flight hours logged for it on the airframe
on the aircraft.
Yeah, but it was also over a duration of 23,300 flights.
Wow, that many flights.
And 91,000 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah. So so this aircraft, obviously not being a passenger, had way less people.
Thankfully.
It had 3 people, which normally cargo flights are only 2. They normally only have a captain and an FO or first officer. Yeah. So but there was a third captain, or the third guy was a captain.
Yeah.
Not with Atlas Air. And unfortunately, he passed away in this incident, and he was traveling for a vacation.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he was a jump seater, so he was just along for the ride, and unfortunately he got on the wrong flight.
Yeah.
And he ended up passing away. But anyway, so there was Captain Rick Blakely from Indiana. Then there was First Officer Conrad Jules Aska, and he is the problem child of this flight.
Oh, he's the problem.
First officer, yeah.
Okay.
And then he was from, I don't know how you want to try and say that. Antigua. Something like that. Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, something like that.
And the jump seating captain was from Mesa Airlines, Sean Archuleta.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. God run
Archuleta, yep.
So pilot's experience overall, right? The captain. He joined Atlas Air in 2015. And he was a captain in the 767 in 2018, so just 1 year before this incident. Before Atlas, he was a captain at ExpressJet for an ERJ 145, which is a pretty nice plane.
Is it?
Yeah. He was also a first officer in a Beechcraft 1900 at Commutair, and a flight instructor for Flight Safety International. And in total, Blakely had logged 11,172 total flight hours.
Wow.
With 1,252 being in the 767.
So he's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Very experienced guy.
I think the fact that he's got all the different jobs under his belt is really good.
Yeah.
Especially the flight instructor.
Yeah. So he definitely
That's a
knows
big
what's
plus.
up.
Yeah, for sure. Then we get to the FO, Aska. He joined Atlas Air in 2017. He received his type rating for the 767 2 months after being hired. And Aska only had 5,073 hours, including only a total of 520 on the 767.
Wow.
He had been an FO for an Embraer E175 for Mesa Airlines. And on top of that, he served... The issue here, he served for 5 other airlines prior to coming to Atlas Air, which is the problem because he got fired from all of them just because of issues with
with him, basically.
Yeah.
With his experiences and stuff like that.
Pretty much. Like testing and stuff that he failed. So he got fired. Anyway, so then between these two pilots, right?
Yeah.
They had previous experience flying with each other, in fact.
Oh, okay.
Into the airport they were flying to, into Houston, Texas, George Bush International Airport.
So they did that. They did the same destination multiple times.
And they've done it before together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And matter of fact, they had flown the previous day before this flight at night from California to Miami.
Oh my God. Which is a longer route.
Depending on where they flew from, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, no, yeah, it definitely is a longer.
Yeah, because I was like,
Texas,
Miami, Texas.
Yeah.
Miami, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, that's besides the point.
So
they flew together. They've had experience together before this flight. So anyway, so they departed Miami at 10:33 CST, which is Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
And Aska was flying the aircraft, and Blakely was the pilot monitoring. Flight 3591 was on an approach into Houston, and they ended up hitting IMC, or Instrument Meteorological Conditions, which basically just means clouds.
Okay.
And Aska then requested radar vectors, so he's talking to ATC. Well, sorry, let me step back. Before he requested, he transferred controls to the captain, so the captain's now flying.
Which is Blakely, yeah. Blakely, okay.
Yeah, so they went to IMC. He wasn't comfortable, so he gave the controls, rightfully so, as, if you're not comfortable
with flying, you transfer.
Especially to him,
weird.
Someone who's more experienced.
Yeah.
So good call on that part. Anyways, so he then radios up, because the pilot monitoring is the one that does the radios. So he requests radar vectors to go around the weather, and they began to set up the aircraft for landing.
Yeah.
So then the controller, tries to vector them around, and they start to set up, and then Blakely hands the controls back over to Aska. Aska calls for flaps 1, which the pilot flying will ask for something, and the other guy will do it.
Okay.
So he says flaps 1, the captain gives flaps 1, and he reaches over,
and he
grabs it, puts it to flaps 1. Pretty simple. Anyway, so they're setting it up. The captain starts programming the FMC, or the flight the flight computer, we'll just call it that.
Yeah, flight computer, okay.
They start setting it up for the approach. The flaps are set. 29 seconds later, the go-around mode was activated. So pretty much what happened was they hit IMC. The controller was, they were really high up, so the controller said, okay, hey, let's get you down to 3,000 feet. So Aska's like, okay, let's do it. So he pulls the thrust levers to idle, he pulls the speed brake. He lowers the speed brake to help reduce speed so they can descend faster.
Yeah.
And the problem is, right, so the FO sits on the right, thrust lever's here, and then you've got your switch on the other, your speed brakes on the other side, and there's a little switch, a little flip tab kind of thing on the other side. And when he retched across, he accidentally bumped it. That's the go-around switch. So he hit that. You hit the go-around switch.
That was Aska that did that.
You hit once you hit the go-around switch, the throttle, auto throttle kicks in, goes to full power, and it starts to pitch the nose up.
So that's that little switch. That's what it does.
Yeah, it takes over, right? Because you're
oh my god.
Because it basically it's like a panic button. You're like, okay, this flight isn't going, the landing isn't going as it should. Full power goes back up for you.
Oh my god.
So anyway, so he hits this. They're in IMC. Keep that in mind. So basically, when you're in IMC, you have no visual reference, which is where the issue starts to set in. Yeah, correct. So, so the go-around mode gets activated at 12:38:40. The following was caught on the plane's CVR, or the cockpit voice recorder. The sound of the master Costa warning was heard. The controller was heard explaining that it's clear on the other side of the clouds, or the IMC, that they were currently in.
Okay, and now Aska speaks?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Aska goes, "Where's my speed?" with an elevated voice. And then a mechanical sound, right? A mechanical sound was heard, and I'm not sure what the mechanical sound was. Because I could never figure out like what they thought it was. Yeah. But then Aska was like,
"Can I say that part?"
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
So Aska goes, "Stall! We're stalling!"
So the aircraft then made a sharp turn to the south, and they entered a nosedive.
Straight down.
Pretty much.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they made a hard turn. I don't know why they turned, but they did. They made a sharp turn, and then they started a nosedive. And the accident was found to be caused by pilot error.
Definitely, yeah,
obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
Something known as the cinematographic illusion, which is basically the sensation of leaning backwards when one person feels the pressure of an acceleration. So basically, when you're in an airplane, you feel the acceleration, it pushes you back in your seat.
Pushes you back, yeah.
And when you get that, obviously, the feeling of leaning back in a plane is the feeling of climbing. So you're
going up. Yeah.
So he gets a feeling that they're ascending. So the tower tried to get them lower. Speed brake gets hit. He bumps the GA switch. The GA switch was hit without anyone noticing. So when you hit the GA switch, there's a little on the screen, where your horizon is. There's a little green GA that'll pop up on the top center.
Oh, so you will still see it on the screen.
It literally says, it's literally just a capital G, capital A for go around.
Yeah.
Basically let you know that it's on.
Yeah.
So it was hit without anyone noticing. No one saw that it was on. And while you're in IMC, an increase in power, you start to feel the cinematographic illusion. It took 7 seconds for Aska to start to experience that illusion.
Oh my god.
7 seconds. So yeah, it took him 7 seconds, and he started to feel like they were in a steep climb, and then obviously in turn he thought that they were just climbing really fast. So he pushes the nose over
down,
and assuming that he was correcting the
he was
issue
correcting the
right.
What about the horizon screen? What about?
I don't know, dude. They don't pay attention apparently in these.
Again, the same problem.
That's what it is. It's just people just not looking. So he puts a nose over. During this process, the captain, remember how I was talking about the flight computer?
Yeah.
He was programming the approach into it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He was still messing with it. So it literally would have taken a quick second to look up and see that the GA mode was on and that they were climbing, or to see that the horizon indicator, like you just talked about, was pointing up.
It's pointing up.
Yeah, that's literally it.
Just a simple look.
And when the GA mode gets activated, right, it puts it to full power and it climbs, but it doesn't climb very steep.
Oh, it slowly starts going up.
Yeah, it's not like your typical takeoff, like several thousand
degrees.
feet.
Yeah, it's just slightly up.
Right. So so he was messing with the computer. It would have taken a second to look up and fix the problem or realize what was going on. But at this point, The captain looked up after Asuka had put the plane into a 45 to 50 degree dive. So the last one we were talking about, they were nose up the whole time, 40
Nose
degrees
up,
to 35. This one, they were nose down, 45 to 50.
That's even more.
Yeah. So they were just plummeting out of the ground.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, so the plane ended up slamming into short of the runway, obviously. They ended up slamming into the water next to it called Trinity Bay at 740 kilometers per hour.
That's so fast.
Yeah.
That's like almost 500 miles per hour.
Yeah, they were cruising.
Oh my god.
And the last thing that was heard on the black box, which is just the CVR pretty much.
Yeah.
Was Asuka literally? Do you want to say it?
Yeah.
You see
Okay.
where we are?
You take it over.
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing that was heard was Asuka saying, "Lord Jesus, have my soul."
That's so scary.
Literally, as they're going down, they break. Okay, so the cloud level, right, was they hit IMC, and the cloud tops were way up. The cloud floor was about 2,000 or 3,000 feet. So they puts it over. They nosedive. They break through. They see the ground. Obviously, going this fast, what are you gonna do?
Oh my god.
That was the last thing that he said before they slammed it into earth.
And how high were they going?
How high were they?
Yeah.
No. This is when they were coming into to land.
Oh,
so this is on their final approach. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. They were originally at.
So they were trying to land and they couldn't know where they are?
Yeah. Which, I mean, most planes nowadays literally land themselves. They're cat rated, which
yeah. Like
is auto landing pretty much is what it is. But you just load up the instrument landing system or the ILS, and the plane literally just flies itself in, lined up on center line and everything. And
I'm so like, I don't know what to say. I'm just shocked. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So you were talking about Blakely?
Yeah.
Blakely and
the
Asuka.
captain. Yep.
What? And we've always mentioned them when we talked about them, like throughout the accident that happened. What about the third person? Did they say anything while he was doing?
Yeah. So I'm in my paper actually. I put he ended up coming up, because obviously he's sitting in the back.
They're
he can
freaking
hear
out,
them a little bit, and he feels the movements of the plane erratic.
Yeah.
Diving.
Of course.
He comes up and he's like looking around and figures it out. He figured out that they were in a dive, but
and was he?
I think shortly after he was like, "Hey, we're not climbing," because he was experienced this cinematographic illusion, right? So he thought they were climbing. So he nosed over. He's like, "Hey, no, we're not. That's not what's going on. We're literally diving at the ground
straight
right now."
down.
He's like, "Go around mode is on. We're diving."
He also said that. He gave them the...
Yeah, he told them what the problem was. The captain who was there for the ride, for traveling to Texas for vacation. Yeah, he came up and he was like, "Hey, this is the problem." But by the time he did that, they were way too low. Yeah, so they ended up slamming it on the ground. But
sorry for the life's loss, but this is also a crazy tragedy, man.
Yeah. There's actually a video that you can find of the plane. It like breaks through the base of the clouds.
Like an animated video?
No, it's actual video.
An actual... What?
Yeah, actual video. The plane breaks through the base of the clouds, and it's just like...
And it shows the crash.
You can't see the crash. That's like some guy in his backyard, pretty much. But he's like... You can see the plane break through the clouds, and then you can see the splash of the water behind this house in the video.
Oh, my God. And... And it obviously took them a while to find the parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, well, people who saw it obviously called emergency services, and then when they got there, the only thing that they could find was literally just like small pieces of the plane. Like when they hit the water and it disintegrated pretty much.
Yeah, oh my God.
It was all the cargo was just destroyed, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But it was just like the surface of the water was just littered with debris and parts and pieces of the plane. And obviously, with the plane slamming into the ground as hard as it did, there was parts of the debris that were buried into
Like
the base of the lake, the bay.
Feet and feet down.
3 meters. I don't know how deep that is. Like
3
in feet.
meters that's more than 10 feet.
Yeah, like 3 meters into the ground. So you hit water, and it still has enough energy to go that far in.
Okay, talking water, a lot of pressure. Okay, when you for example, you shoot a gun, the bullet doesn't even travel that fast.
Don't even explain it like that. Like, so let's explain it like this, right?
Yeah.
You slowly lower something in the water, it moves out of the way.
Of course.
If you do a backflop, it's like a brick. It's like you're hitting a wall.
That's true. Yeah. If you go
Explain
really
it
fast,
like that.
Yeah. If you're going really fast and you hit the water,
Yeah.
you're pretty much dead because it
Pretty much
literally
hitting a wall.
Yeah, it literally turns into brick. Yeah, he was right about that because even how like loose water is, it's always with the speed. Like I've seen an incident before with the speedboats. A guy was driving a speedboat and he was going like more than 150 miles per hour on that speedboat, and then all of a sudden he flew out of the speedboat. He was literally bouncing off the water for how fast he was going.
Like cartwheeling?
His body was bouncing off the water. Yeah, he wasn't.
I
he
shouldn't
didn't
laugh at that. But
He didn't even sink in. He was just bouncing like bat, like it's like hitting a ground.
Jeez.
So, oh my god, what a tragedy! I don't even know what to say. Both of the plane crashes are this almost the same problem. Just look at the horizon.
Yeah, just not paying attention to your instruments, because that's one of the biggest things when you're getting your instrument ticket that is stressed. Trust your instruments.
Yeah, of course.
Because when you go into IMC, the problem is there's there's a fluid in your ear that helps you like balance, and it helps you like know where the surface is, and
for sure,
whatever, right? When you lose that visual reference, that liquid doesn't act how it should. So
look at the instruments.
So even like when you're getting your private, right? You even do simulated instrument. So you put on something called foggles, right? Safety glasses, but like the top 3/4 is like blurred out pretty much. And there's like just a little bit, and you can only. see
I remember when you wore that. Yeah, I remember when you wore that
like
while
a visor
we were flying.
kind of thing.
Yeah, like a visor. Yeah.
You can only see your instruments, but you basically what the instructor will do is you put your head down, close your eyes, whatever. And they do all these turns, left, right, up, down.
And you should feel, And
then, that's pretty much what you feel. And then like you look up, and you have to look at your instruments and fix the problem. So like they'll leave you. It's called unusual altitudes.
That's really good training.
Yeah,
but
really it's just to drive in that fact. Like trust your instruments.
If I was ever in these positions, I think I would be a great flying officer.
First officer?
Yeah, for first officer. I wouldn't be the captain. I'll be the guy who reads the information in the screens.
Well, you do both.
That. Yeah,
you do both. Because the way it works, right? You have task delegation. So, like for this one, right? Miami to George Bush. Yeah, Texas. The captain on the ground is probably going to be doing the taxiing, because he's the one that has the tiller.
Yeah.
Which the tiller is just like this little wheel that helps the plane turn on the ground, because the rudder isn't viable until you're at about. It depends on the plane, but it's it's pretty quick. It's normally like 80 knots typically. Wow. But so while you're on the ground, you use the tiller, and that's how you turn, because it just turns the nose wheel.
Yeah.
But that's on the captain's side. The first officer side doesn't have one. So then, he does that while he's taxiing. The FO will be the one doing the radios. And then they get on the runway and they transfer. So now the captain will do radios, and the first officer will do the takeoff and then fly the aircraft.
I'll just be the guy that always says information. Like I'll be like,
Caleb, we're on 100 knots. I mean, we're at the horizon, extremely balanced. Everything is good. The second we go up, Caleb, we're climbing. Put it back in place. Balance it out.
So that's
and that's because like the typical way a takeoff will work, right? You typically have like the guy flying the plane, and then you have the other guy who's monitoring. We're doing the radios, and he'll go, he'll be like, okay, full throttle, set thrust of toga or whatever. So
yeah,
toga. and then they start rolling, and they're like, I don't know, they'll just call out an airspeed. So like when it starts going, it'll be like 50, and then be like cross check, which basically means it's showing correct on both.
Everything is good.
Yeah. And then they get to V1, and V1 is your decision speed. So once you hit V1, well, ideally before, but like if anything happens before V1, kill it. You put thrust, whatever, you just stop the plane. You get off the runway. You kill the takeoff. But then after V1 is your rotation speed, and then you rotate and whatever.
So if you're still below V1, just stop.
If something happens, yeah.
So is that like a problem with the plane, or you need to redo your takeoff?
Depends on what the issue is.
If
it's like, I don't know, if it's like something gets sucked into the engine.
Yeah.
That's a problem with the plane.
Actually, something. I don't, bro. I fly too much, like international flights. I don't even remember if it was this flight or the flight. I think on my flight back home in the summer.
Yeah.
On May. So we stayed in the plane for like 4 to 5 hours because.
Like delay?
Yeah, delay.
Boarding or
no,
unloading?
in the plane. So the captain, everyone, they started moving, about to take off. All of a sudden, they stopped the plane. The captain calls and he's like, "Hey, we noticed there's a warning error in the plane," and he said it might not be that serious, but it might take like an hour. Okay, an hour goes by. He says, "Hey, sorry, we're waiting on the team to come to. We're trying to fix it because I think it was something has to do with the cooling down something. Something was overheating."
Okay.
Yeah, which is I think it's a serious problem.
Depends on what it is. But
yeah. So when he said something like about the heating, I thought it's something serious. So another hour goes by. 2 hours after that, we're still on the plane sitting. All of a sudden, he calls again, and he's like, we figured out the problem. The problem is the right engine was overheating. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he said, we're actually gonna, a part of the right engine is overheating. So he said, we're actually gonna call the mechanic team and we're gonna have to fix it. Another hour goes by. That's 3 hours.
So during this whole process, they just had you sit on the plane.
Yeah. That's the first 3 hours. And then an hour, the mechanic team comes.
Yeah.
That's the third hour. They call again and they say, the part is completely broken. They have to replace a brand new one. So that's 4 hours. Yeah. After 4 hours, they call again and they say, "Hey, you guys feel free to walk out of the plane and go to like spin in the airport and like until we fix it."
I'm surprised they didn't just be like, "Oh, there's a problem with the plane. Deboard you onto a different flight that was going to the same spot."
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, we're probably gonna get changed to a different plane, but no, we stayed on the same plane. So I was like,
that's when you're talking about like when they call, like the PA calls. Those videos are the funniest things when the pilots key up on frequency, like tower frequency. So it's not to the passengers, it's to other pilots in the tower.
Oh, really?
And they give their PA announcement like, "Oh yeah, according good evening, blah 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 blah." You know what I mean? And then it's so funny because then the other pilots would like key up and be like, "Oh yeah, hey, good PA, bud."
Yeah, like, "Oh, good job."
Yeah.
So
everybody just mess with each other.
Yeah. So
it's a good time.
After he said like something in the right engine is overheating, I was like, yeah, okay, now this is serious. Well, like imagine we're just up 35,000 feet in the air and all of a sudden engine overheats, turns off. Well, the whole engine.
Yeah, but 35,000 feet, once you're off the ground, a plane can fly fine on one engine.
Reduced, maybe. Oh, anyways, no. I started getting scared. So I'm like, okay. So after like, probably we stayed for like 5 hours. Yeah. And I stayed sitting, bro. I didn't even go outside and walk. I stayed.
You just stayed in the plane?
Yeah, I stayed in the plane.
For how long?
5 hours. Just sitting.
For how long was your flight?
11 hours. It was from the U.S. back to the Middle East.
You were in this plane for like
almost
16
hours.
Probably closer to 17 hours.
When I walked out of the plane after we...
What?
Luckily, we landed. Everything was safe. My legs were killing me. So, yeah. It was a problem. They fixed it.
Yeah.
And they replaced a new one. And I was still worried, bro. They replaced a new one. What if they did it like pretty fast and they messed something up?
But in terms of the engine, they are very strict with how well kept everything is.
Which is great.
Each individual one of those turbofans, they will inspect each one. And if they find like a fracture crack replace the whole thing.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So I think this is it for today's episode.
Yeah,
It's
a good one.
actually an hour and 10 minutes. So
Hey, that's a very in-depth.
Yeah.
We started to go off topic and just trying to kind of chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
So we wanted to bring a little longer episode for you guys because actually I've heard from people that they like listening to our podcast a lot. So yeah, here's Caleb. It was great job.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Amazing job.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
on. It was a lot
of
fun.
course. Yeah, we probably will have you more in the future
Yeah,
to cover more things.
Yeah,
Caleb
just let me
likes a
know.
lot of things. He doesn't only just talk about planes.
Yeah.
So
Give me a topic. Clearly, I'm here for the research.
yeah,
so
of course.
just,
I like the fact that he brought papers. I never expected that. So smart. Yeah, he talked about the aviation program. Again, if you guys are interested in it, you can go back and research it on Sinclair, or just go back to the video, like probably 30 minutes, and
Yeah, wherever it was. It's
just
somewhere
whatever it
in there.
was. So listen to Caleb and his
Yeah.
experience with the aviation here at Sinclair. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys are not scared of planes now, because this happens very often.
Hey, little
No,
fact,
sorry, not very often.
No,
It
little-
happens very, very once
That's
in like
the
a million.
problem.
So-
One crash and it just blows
Blows
up
up.
on media, so it looks bad.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, Caleb mentioned before we started the podcast. He said,
You're more likely
"Yeah,
to get in a car crash en route to the airport, even if it's 5 minutes. You're more likely to crash your car on your way to the airport, and then once you're in your plane, you're actually that's your safest part of your travel.
yes." So, hey guys, like I said again, this happens like 1 in thousands of planes.
Millions.
Yeah, and millions even. So don't be like, I'm unlucky, like I'm gonna crash. Like, please don't.
No,
man.
in my luck.
Just sit. Enjoy the ride, because now we're in 2023. Planes are way more developed than back in the day.
Very advanced.
Very advanced,
Very
yes.
advanced.
And I flew both in Boeings and Airbuses, and thank to God, I'm still here. So, so yeah.
Do you have a preference?
Of course, Airbus.
Okay.
Airbus, man.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
I
So yeah, this is it for today's episode, guys. Like, again, I'll make a quick plug. Check us on YouTube, Spotify, of course, because this is going to be on Spotify for people who likes to only listen to sounds, and
Hey.
it's on YouTube.
Don't hate
So-
on Spotify. That's mine. That's my go-to.
Yes, that's Caleb's go-to. So yeah, everywhere Sinclair, is it Sinclair Clarion? Everywhere X, not Twitter.
Yeah.
And,
That's so stupid.
And YouTube, and yeah, check us on the website as well, because we upload articles every single day. And yeah, thanks to Caleb again for
Yeah,
presenting
thanks.
us.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Like I said again, we probably will have you more in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I'm here for it.
And yeah, I love these stories. I'm gonna take these back home and
Hey,
read them.
Hey, be my guest, man.
Yeah. So Caleb, JoJo, I hope you guys have a great weekend, because this is Thursday. We record podcasts every single Thursday.
Supposed to be nice this weekend.
Yeah. Maybe we might go on a lesson, me and him, just a quick
Yeah,
little
we'll see,
flight
we'll see.
lesson. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and
Peace.
peace.